Wind and wall is a hopeless fight, where wall endures 1,000,000,000 bites, until one day, by touch of sun, a pin of light proves wind has won. Ever east we Gorgons fly, while those beneath are left to lie in dust and ruin, victims all of ruthless Gorgon laser fall. From wing to wing, from fore to aft, our ships are cutting-edge deathcraft. The fear they sow is owed to me, for I command the Gorgon Fleet. For decades I have left a path of crushed empires across this earth, and the place next eyed for victory was Atlantis, twinkling gem of the sea. Sealed in domes and fathoms down stood the garish structures of their town, made soft by lazy, decadent days. Its citizens would soon stare down death rays. Their commander Tarek was a different sort, a general tough with temper short. A siege or two he may have seen, but he'd not faced our war machine. He did not know us or our resolve. Our motivations have never involved morals or candor. We'd never sway. We'd wear him down, day after day. On morning one, first went the fodder, empty heads with simple orders. Fly your bombers into their space. Report to us the defense we face. Their swift deaths made the danger clear. AA guns were the guardians here. To get the city within lasers range, demanded continuous and bold attack waves. We'd sweep our squadrons fro and to, always lowering altitude, until, when ocean was close below, we'd unleash our lasers' deadly glow. Losses, yes, I knew would come, but all acceptable, for already one of our pilots had bruised poor Tarek's nose. A textbook shot of how the long game goes. The dusk was cool, but the brandy was warm. I was relaxed, but my soldiers were torn. So accustomed to dominance, they didn't feel right to see our new victim put up such a fight.
Cowards, I called. You can't lose heart. Our true assault has yet to start. The fall of night will be our strength, and we shall teach them of loss at length.
Though powerful searchlights pierced the black, they'd only be guessing with use of flak. So, to make the situation his own, our Tarek deployed his saucer drone. This mobile and maneuverable ship covered the sky with impressive clip. However, I was pleased to see it had quite the limited battery. It may have killed many with its missiles strong, but the saucer could not remain in the air for too long. And blinded by the time that Tarek chose to helm it, I knew at some point that we'd overwhelm it. The Atlanteans may have bitten us hard, but the Gorgon hand is loaded with cards. We play and we play, till all others are worn, and the mantle of ownership is unquestionably shorn. Next hungover morn, I sent in higher ranks, men who commanded quick loops and banks. Some would die, of that I knew, but that was the price. It was just day 2. And so on we hammered, blow by dead blow. And so on I watched, enjoying the show. 'Twas cracking an oyster with an inches thick shell. Only the microbes inside it were suffering hell. Did days pass without me? Was I simply drunk? Or was this great battle just forgettable junk? What really was death to a killer like me? A pastime, a hobby, a thing of ennui? No, there was satisfaction yet to be found in raising a once great fief to the ground. Layer by layer, we'd peel them away in anticipation of a great victorious day. A commander must press, and to the last man, he must show confidence in the might of his plan. For what fool would worship a weak, bending reed, when instead there's a man who grins when he bleeds? By day 4, 9 squadrons now rested in watery graves. However, they nested in the turned-out ruins of the town's domed palace, each shard a marker to our Gorgon malice. With the greenest reserves of our pilots exhausted, a wave of old veterans was called to accost them. In cosmic crawlers and spider fighters, they whirled and they swooped through Atlantean fire. His generators and energy domes now destroyed, it finally seemed that our Tarek was poised. With boot heels skirting on history's abyss, we just needed a moment when he'd turn remiss. Yet the battle continued, with passion inflamed. Could ever these ignorant peasants be tamed? Did they not notice the cloaked spectre staring? Would they march to a sad epoch's end without caring? By day 6, the warm Atlantean sea was blackening with our ship debris, our pilots' bodies thick with bloat, now choked and stained this curious moat. An officer of lugubrious hue approached and asked if parley was due. "I'll not hear doubts," I curtly said, then drew my gun and shot him dead. Though inwardly 'tis true that I found his bold advice to be somewhat sound. So in my quarters, in solitude, I called up dear Tarek, just us two. "You're a reasonable man," I told my new friend, "and I think that you know how this war will end. Atlantis' time is brief and borrowed. Surrender today. You may yet see tomorrow." A sullen twitch flashed on his face as he considered my undue grace. But then he dismissed my gallantry, and in impudence he said to me,
"Atlantis is not subject to foul Gorgon will. We've held you this far, and we hold you still. Shove your unconscionable terms with all haste. All Gorgons can offer are awful and waste."
So Atlantis' blood is on Tarek's hands. I cannot be blamed. I gave him a chance. I returned to the bridge with surety doubled. I turned Tarek's city to powder and rubble. I sent a full blitz of all men in my thrall, determined to finally flatten it all. "It's all in our hands," I madly proclaimed. "Slaughter these cattle, fear thee no pain." And then the last strafe shook Atlantis' core with a thunderous, blasting, crashing roar. Through ash and smoke, a saucer flew, a planned escape by desperate crew. Survivors pulled from killing flame. We watched them run and loved their shame. You might be now surprised to learn that this great siege brought great concern, for defiance seen of Tarek's kind may bolster others of similar mind. To stem or even turn our tide is insanity I will not abide. The planets spin, the waters flow, and so our destined march must go. To upend this rule is to fight your God. Your only course is to bend and nod. Cherish your blurb in this great tale, where hordes submit and lords prevail.